Sorry. Am I crooked? Sorry. Oh, I need to mute that. Okay. I'll just wait another 30 seconds and then I'll get started. So if you're watching the playback, welcome. Thank you for watching. I hope you're well. I'm going to be covering a couple of questions that I've received via Facebook and email. I'm going to be covering some more advice and tips on how to make yoga a habit in your life for real, like actually make yoga a real habit in your life instead of just talking about it or wanting to do it or wishing that you've done it. I'm going to talk about a real solid way to just get it going, which I find very helpful. And I'm also going to be discussing a few technical things regarding the membership. And hi Tashina, thank you for joining. If anyone else shows up, just type in the chat box that you're here. I have the chat box opened, so say hi, I'm here. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yes, I'm going to be going over some technical things that I have discovered are very helpful in actually using the membership and being able to stream it on all devices and download it and watch the classes offline, which is great for traveling, or if you have internet that's not so great all the time. And I mean, that's the whole point, or a big reason why this membership site is so great, is that you can pick the classes that you want and download them and then practice them even without using the internet. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So yeah, let's see. So the last live stream, sorry, I'm looking over here because I have some notes so I can stay on track. So I don't forget anything because I like to ramble. Also, because this is live, I won't be able to edit out any noise. I mentioned this last time. I won't be able to edit out any background noise, or if the doorbell rings, or if my phone rings, or if something happens of that nature, I won't be able to edit it out. So I apologize for any distractions that might happen throughout the video. Just getting that out of the way. So, okay, so last week when I live streamed, I talked about some tips and some advice on how to make yoga a habit in your life and how to get out of your own way and just do it, basically. But I wanted to discuss today something pretty big that I left out last time that I think is a really helpful piece of that puzzle. So I discussed the concept of being kind to yourself, which I find to be extremely, extremely important, and dropping the negative self-talk. And if you fall off the wagon and aren't consistent with your practice, it's not helpful to beat yourself up about it and give up, because when you say bad things to yourself, when you say negative things to yourself, that is kind of a catalyst to just not picking it up again or not even trying. So that's what I mean by being kind to yourself. What I don't mean by that, or what it might be a misconception, I guess, of that point, is that you have to be also a little bit tough with yourself. So get honest and say, you know, that question that I asked everybody on that video, that very honest video that I posted, what is holding you back? So many of you emailed me and told me all these reasons why you are being held back, but the underlying reason is you're being held back by yourself. You're the only reason why you are holding yourself back. So getting real and getting honest with yourself, and that's a different thing than beating yourself up, or it's a different mindset. So you can be hard on yourself in that way, and you can tell yourself negative things about yourself, but that's not what I'm referring to in this way. I'm referring to, you know, you're holding yourself back, so maybe be a little bit tougher with yourself in that way. So gee, I didn't make time for my yoga class today. I didn't make time to practice meditation today because I was lazy, because I wanted to watch TV instead, or I wanted to play a game on my phone instead. So, I mean, just being honest with the reasons why you chose to not practice yoga today. And everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. And if one person can make time to do their job, raise their children, cook for themselves, and practice yoga, so can you. And it's not by any means easy, but practicing that discipline with yourself and being able to trust yourself is just a huge accomplishment. And if you can achieve that, then you'll feel amazing. You'll say, wow, look at all that I have achieved today. Look at the amount of things that I accomplished, that I said I wanted to accomplish, and then I went out and I did it. And that will be such a great motivator to keep you going to do it again and to continue to practice that. And again, that's where the compassion comes into play. So you can be tough with yourself in that way and be honest with yourself in recognizing where you are falling short for you. And then if, it happens, which it happens to everybody, where, you don't practice for a day, 2 days, a week, 3 weeks, whoever knows how long. It could be months if you don't acknowledge that, you know what, okay, I took that time off because I was lazy, or because I wanted to focus on other things at that time. And then just come back to it instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm such a lazy bum, or like I'm so terrible, or just saying negative, instead of adding that negative aspect to it and beating yourself up about it. Just being honest, acknowledging yourself for your shortcomings, or acknowledging yourself for the events that happened, and then just moving forward from there. And I think, sorry, ooh, let me read Tashina's comment. Yep, that's a huge thing, and that's great. You have to schedule it in. Sometimes I have to schedule in eating lunch. Yesterday I completely forgot to eat, and then I was like, why don't I feel well? And you just have to schedule things in. If something is important for your health or important to you, and you're busy, schedule it in. That's a great point. Put it in your calendar, block out your calendar. For me, I use Google Calendars, so I can have it on every device. I can have it on my phone, my laptop, or wherever I have access to internet. I could sign in and just look at my calendar. And of course, I don't schedule every single thing, but the important things, if you want to get them done, and you want to build these healthy habits in your life, then putting it in the calendar or whatever you have as a system for your reminders is going to be huge, and it's going to be helpful in actually saying that you're going to do it, or actually keeping it in the forefront of your mind, because sometimes it just, like forgetting to eat, it's just like, that's just, if you're busy, you forget ridiculous things like that. So that's a great point, Shashina, thank you. I guess my overall point is just being honest with yourself as well. So all the things that I mentioned in the live stream last time, and if you have missed that by any chance, I will send both of the links to this live stream, which you're watching now, and the other link to the other live stream, so that you can watch both and get the benefit of both. I'll send them to everybody so you can watch those and have those. Just being honest with yourself, being aware of where maybe you can add yoga in. So you add yoga in as your nightly routine, and that's amazing. You can, for instance, if another one of you can't do that and you'd rather practice in the morning, then maybe waking up like a little bit earlier. You don't have to wake up an hour earlier and do a 2-hour yoga practice every day. Like that, it's not realistic for a lot of people. But even a 15-minute session, there are tons of short little routines on the membership site and even on the YouTube channel that you can just do whenever, whenever you have a free moment. And I guess my biggest tip is implementing that aspect of meditation as well. So the asana is very important, and it really will help to keep your body toned and keep your body flexible, keep your muscles just your muscles and your joints just healthy for a long time. And I think it's just really great to keep doing that, and that's a very important aspect of yoga, which is why it's one of the 8 limbs. But meditation is going to just add that extra push, that extra bit of focus to your life, that extra bit of clarity that we are often missing. I know when I don't meditate, or when I don't have that meditation practice in my life regularly, I notice a huge difference, and I discussed that in that other video where I talked about my anxiety and my panic attacks. And it's just that element is the thing that really helps me, and I can't, I guess, advocate, or I can't express the importance of that enough. The asana and the meditation, and then the breathing exercises as well are great, but if you're going to just start somewhere, I would suggest the physical asana and meditation. So it could be a 5-minute meditation. I think I shared with you a 5-minute meditation, and that's another thing I'm going to talk about briefly, the meditation playlist that I'll have on the site that's actually coming tomorrow. It's already there, but there's only 1 meditation in there, so I'm going to add the previous meditations from last month on there, and then I'll be adding the meditations to that playlist moving forward. So they're all there, so you can have them and you can download them and use them just as you would with the classes that are on there as well. So yeah, those are my tips for the day for this live stream. Get honest with yourself. Notice where you can cut things out, like watching TV or waking up a bit earlier. You can either cut out watching TV, cut out maybe playing games on your phone, and wake up a little bit earlier in order to fit that yoga into your life. Notice maybe your habits on a daily basis. Start to be more mindful of what you do and how you're spending your time, and then see where you can fit 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe on the weekend you can practice a bit longer. Just notice where in your life you can fit those things in, and then setting it in your calendar. So scheduling it in and making it, maybe setting a reminder to come up 5 minutes before that time, so that you know, oh yes, I have to do my yoga practice at 7 p.m. tonight, or whatever. So yeah, those are my tips for the day, making yoga a habit in your life. Now I'm going to get to, before we exit this live stream, we have another maybe 10-15 minutes. I'm going to get to a question that I received from a member. Let's see who asked it. Deborah. So Deborah asked on the Facebook group, anything I can do that will help with cramps in my foot? Actually, it usually happens when I start yoga and stretching. So this happens to me as well. Cramping, particularly in the feet, when you practice yoga, or just when you are moving in a particular way. Sometimes I get foot cramps while I'm sleeping, or as I'm trying to fall asleep. It's just like, for me, it happens, let's say this is my foot and this is the arch. It happens right in the arch of the foot, where the muscles just cramp up and spasm, I guess. And it's quite painful, so I feel your pain, Deborah. And it could be a variety of different reasons. So I guess one of the things that you will likely come across when you look it up, cramping or muscle cramps in general, it could be a potassium deficiency. So you might want to look at your diet and see if you are getting that particular nutrient into your diet. But if it just happens when you're doing a particular thing, such as starting to practice your yoga, it could be muscle tightness in connection to that particular muscle. So the muscles along the bottom of the foot connect up through the heel and go up to your calf. So it could be calf tightness, or it could be tightness in the foot itself, or it could be a variety of different things, and you won't actually know unless you maybe do an MRI or go to the doctor and get it checked out. But my thing, when it happens to me, what I do immediately to stop the cramping is flex the foot. So as soon as my foot starts cramping, I stop what I'm doing and I flex my foot. And that just means, you know, let's say again, this is my foot. You just immediately tense it and flex. I think it's dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Sorry, I'm trying to remember my anatomy, and if I'm wrong, and you know that I'm wrong, you can correct me. But yeah, that really helps me. It just kind of stops the cramp in its tracks, and it just immediately goes away. So whenever, if it does often happen to me when I'm practicing yoga, so whatever pose I'm in, I just stop what I'm doing and I flex my foot. Also, along with that, it could be a variety of different muscle tightness or tightness in different areas of the leg and foot. It also could be that you might need to drink more water. So dehydration also has a lot to do with muscle cramping. And I do notice that within myself as well, when I don't drink water consistently, or when I'm not hydrating my body enough, I do get muscle cramps more often. So those are a few things that you might want to take a look at in regards to cramping, in particular in your feet. But yeah, I hope that you found that helpful, and thank you for your question. I'm sure you are not alone. You're definitely not alone, because I experienced the same thing. So thank you for sharing and asking that. All right, and there was another question last week regarding the actual site. So on the site, you can, as I said, download classes. I guess keep them in a queue. I'm going to explore the site from your end fairly soon, so I'll have more insight into that, and I'll be able to share some more things about actually using the classes on the member side of things very shortly, so stay tuned. But there was a question about wanting to save the classes for yourself and see which classes that you have done in the past, or which classes that you have taken, and keeping track of those classes. So I suggested that you put them in a queue to download them. So I don't know if this is making sense, but there's a variety of different classes on the site, and if you want to actually keep track of the classes that you have taken or the ones that you like, I believe there is a way by adding them to a queue for download. And that also brings me to my other point of downloading the VHX app. So I received some feedback from a member, and she was having trouble with actually viewing the classes on her browser on her iPad. And then I received feedback from the customer service of Vimeo, VHX, or OTT, or whatever they're called now, about actually the best way to view the classes in the membership site if you're using an iPad or an iPhone or any kind of tablet or phone, smartphone, is to download that app. So I sent a link to the app to everybody. I sent it this morning in an email, and when I send a link again, I think I'm going to send an email to everybody tomorrow morning with this link so that they can watch the playback of this live stream, and I'll also include the link to that app one more time. So I suggest using the app because apparently it's the best, fastest way, and you can download the classes, as I said, and watch them offline, so you won't have any interruptions. Let's say your internet cuts out in the middle of the class and then it stops. It's best to have the class available to watch where you don't need the internet. This way it's uninterrupted and there's no ads because it's the membership site, so that's good as well. Uninterrupted practice time is always good, so I definitely suggest checking that app out so that you can get that particular benefit. And then in downloading those classes, I think it also will generate a list of the classes that you've done. So if you are interested in that, keeping track of what you have practiced and the classes that you like, or maybe the classes that you don't like, then that might be a very helpful way to get that done. So yeah, I think that is all I had to talk to you about today. Any questions from anybody who is here? Final questions, final thoughts? Thank you for joining me live or for joining me in the playback. It is always a pleasure to talk to you, even if you're not here live. And yeah, I also realized that on the schedule, I didn't add the second live stream to the schedule. So I will be sharing the date of the second live stream with you all shortly. If you can also do me a favor and email me the times that are best for you so that I can schedule it so that you can be here for the live stream, because it is always helpful to be here live so that I can chat with you, because that's the point of this, is so that I can actually interact with you in real time live, which I find to be really cool and really helpful in me actually being your real life yoga teacher, even though I'm on the internet. So let me know of the best times that you would be able to join me for the live stream, so that I can schedule it so that the most people could get here and be here with me. What else? So yes, I will be sending all of those things to you very shortly. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, email me questions as usual on Facebook as well, on the forum and the membership site. I check everything, I see everything, so yeah. Anyway, I will talk to you all soon, and thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.